In the early 19th century, Indian cities were physically expanding under colonial rule, but the social structure remained largely static. Daily life was governed by priestly intermediaries, who held absolute authority over nearly every personal and communal decision. Orthodox practices like the caste hierarchy, child marriage, and sati were strictly enforced. These traditions acted as a barrier to change, keeping social roles rigid and individual mobility frozen for centuries. This created a specific problem. Political and societal modernization required a population capable of individual agency. However, the existing spiritual framework was built on the denial of that very agency. This rigidity left little room for the new ideas required to build a modern state. This stagnation created a clear need for a radical shift in ideology. Raja Ram Mohan Roy addressed this need by founding the Brahmo Samaj in 1828. It was the first organized attempt to reform Indian society from within. Roy integrated the monotheism of Islam, the ethical core of Christianity, and Western liberal rationalism into a single framework. Followers were instructed to study scriptures directly, testing every doctrine against their own ethical reason. Anything failing that standard was discarded. Roy developed an analytical method designed to systematically challenge existing traditions. It provided a way for individuals to dismantle practices that were previously considered untouchable. Following Roy's death, Debennath Tagore took over leadership. His goal was to strengthen the Samaj's intellectual foundation for a new generation of reformers. Tagore scrutinized texts like this Sanskrit manuscript, rejecting scriptural infallibility. He stated no text was a perfect source of truth, instead substituting human intuition. He selectively chose sections of the Upanishads aligning with rational principles as the movement's new guide. By making personal intuition the ultimate authority, Tagore ensured the movement could adapt its ideas as society changed, rather than being bound by a fixed text. The movement reached a new level of energy under its third leader, Keshab Chandra Sen. He was an eloquent speaker who expanded the Samaj's reach with a sense of urgency. Under Sen, the organization moved beyond Bengal, establishing active branches in the United Provinces, Punjab, and the Madras Presidency. Sen advocated for more aggressive reforms. He rejected popular Hinduism entirely, stopped using Sanskrit in ceremonies, and discarded the sacred thread. These rapid changes caused friction. The older members of the Samaj, who preferred a more moderate pace, found themselves at odds with Sen's cosmopolitan views. This tension led to a formal schism in 1866. Tagore dismissed Sen, causing the group to split into the Adi Brahmo Samaj and the Brahmo Samaj of India. This split allowed the Samaj to pursue two different strategies at once. One faction maintained a stable theological core, while the other launched radical social initiatives. The movement's expanded reach led to the creation of permanent institutions. This included the establishment of trusts and educational centers, like Dayal Singh College in Lahore. These centers focused on specific social victories. They campaigned to end the practice of purdah and worked to systematically discourage polygamy and child marriage. The Samaj also promoted widow remarriage and higher education for women. Records from this era, like this photograph of an outdoor class, show how these efforts began to change the status and daily lives of women. By consistently applying logic to social standards, the Brahmo Samaj began to change the laws and rights governing marginalized groups across India. These social reforms eventually expanded into the political sphere. The focus on individual freedom and the democratization of social institutions influenced how many Indians viewed their relationship with the colonial state. The methods developed by the Samaj provided a template for later political organizers. This influence is visible in the early years of the Indian National Congress, seen here in 1885, and the work of reformers like M.G. Ranade. In reflecting on this legacy, Rabindranath Tagore, pictured here, credited Ram Mohan Roy with starting a transition that led directly to India's modern era. The Brahmo Samaj was the first organized expression of a national awakening. It demonstrated that before a modern nation could be built, the social and intellectual life of its people had to be democratized.